consent was taken away from people during lockdown. We had no control over our lives. We were told what to do. We had to obey or face, repercussions. And, the fear of God was put into people if they did not toe the line. And I think that it's very, very concerning to think that knowing what we know about DNARs and how people, even today, I mean, last week we had a couple of cases that came up over social media about people being denied treatment, being put on a DNAR and being denied antibiotics and essential treatments that would help them, recover. And, this is going on all the time. We know of cases where people have been visited 3 times in at their bedside when they were at their most vulnerable to try and get them to sign a DNAR. How do we know that will not happen with doctors deciding, between themselves that this person really, has reached the end of their treatment ceiling, as they call it, and we really should encourage them to pop along now. And so I mean, we have one story of a disabled person who talked to us the other week, and they were approached in their bed by their clinician, who suggested they might want to sign a DNAR, and they refused 3 times. And then later that day, a medic who had nothing to do with their case came to the bedside and said, why don't you sign this DNAR? And the person refused and was getting quite upset, because this is probably the 4th time they'd been visited that day or within that, those days. And when he said no and got upset, the doctor walked away and said, if you end up in my ICU, I'll be switching off the machine. This is what we're up against. This is eugenics. This is, state assisted suicide, but it's not assisting the vulnerable. It's fast tracking them to early deaths for, as you say, what we believe are economic reasons. It's not only economic, it's also cultural. We have a problem with people being ageist. We have ageism is rampant within society, but particularly, I would say, in some areas of the NHS. This idea that these people have, they've come to the end of their line, sort of thing, and we need to hasten them to, make room, bed places. And of course, the solution is to have more bed places. The solution is to have better care. And the lies that were told, I think, during the committee and during the debates in Parliament are quite astounding.